Howdy, folks. It's Don Maple again with another disclaimer, and he's absolutely furious because it feels like every week I got some sort of problem with my equipment. But so this week we recorded an entire podcast, and everything was absolutely fine. And about 30 seconds before signing off the show, I had a power cut in my house. So I lost all my audio, whole thing gone. So we're gonna have to pull my audio from Skype. So apologies for that quality there. It's not gonna be the best. Oh, every week there's something. It makes you so mad. Makes you so mad. But here's hoping. The curse doesn't follow me next week. We'll see. So stay tuned. But for the abrupt ending of this episode, the explanation is that's when my power cut out. Okay, thanks, bye. From your Spaceship Music Collective, this is Six Set Bro, a misguided adventure through the social fringe of the music industry. I'm your host, Don Maple.
Clap, clap. Welcome to Six Set Bro, music and entertainment podcast. I'm Don Maple, I'm your host, and as always, I am joined by my brother, Michael Edgerwood, aka Money Mike, aka Michael the Magic, and on the other side of the screen, or wherever this fucking futuristic grid that we have goes. Yeah. You know what? You point now, Andy.
Yeah,
so we don't know.
I made that mistake before.
It's a guessing game. It's like, I'm up here.
Two episodes ago, I corrected Stu. I'm like, no, I think you'll find him over here. But yeah. I watched it back and I wasn't.
And you weren't there. And on top of that, if you're an audio-only listener, you're like, what? I don't even know what they're talking about.
You guys are in my ears.
I mean,
I could pan you guys like hard left and hard right just to give a 3D sound experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, joined by the other brother, Andy. Andrew Fernandez. Every time I try and think of a nickname off the top of my head for you, and I just say your name, and it's unfortunate that I haven't came up with anything yet.
1 week it'll happen. Under pressure, you'll just come up with something.
It'll be a beautiful moment. I always want to go and call you Fernando, but I know you hate it.
We shall. Yeah.
Let's revisit that another time.
Put a pin in it.
Fernando Martinez.
I would love that. Do you know how much I would love that name? That'd be a great name. Fernando Martinez, you kidding me? That's a great name.
Well, we're here again another week. We told you we'd be here every week, and we are. So that's a surprise. Because usually something terrible has happened in our lives by now where we can't do the podcast anymore, because that tends to happen.
Don't jinx it. There's still time for technical difficulties.
Look, how much worse can the world get? Everyone is like, if we're podcasting in this economic climate, this social climate, then we're gonna podcast till the end of time. So we got plenty of news. We actually caught up with a band called Revue. Hopefully you've heard of them. If you haven't, you're definitely gonna want to listen to them after this episode. So we have a little interview. You'll catch up with them later. They're on the show and everything. It's all virtual. It's all futuristic. I want to talk a little bit about the Joshua Burnside album. We sort of like steeped our fingies in it last week. Even though it's been out for a while and I'm quite late to the game, I still want to talk about it because I'm loving it at the minute. And also a little bit about the late great Eddie Van Halen and his son, who released a song that was a tribute to him. But you know what I want to start with, everybody?
Here we go.
And it's not politics this time.
Do you know what really grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my gears is whenever the guitarist from the Deftones, Stephen Carpenter, looking at you, just decides to tell everyone that he believes that the Earth is flat and that coronavirus isn't real. And I'm like, we just not do that anymore. Can people just stop Stop those people from talking, please. I'm done. I'm done with it.
Was he doing a? This is a very niche audience here, but was he doing a Kyrie thing where he was trolling?
Was Kyrie trolling whenever he tried to claim he like went back on his word so many times. Kyrie Irving, NBA player by the way, in case you don't follow basketball, superstar, believed that the Earth was flat. But then apparently he was only trolling the internet, and then he also made an excuse that he went down a rabbit hole of YouTube videos.
Yep.
So it's got to be one of them. Clearly,
I'm going with the latter. I'm going with the latter.
He must have watched a lot of YouTube and eventually came to the conclusion that, you know what, the Earth is flat. For a man that travels around the world quite a lot on private jets and can see the curve of the Earth, that guy believed that the Earth was flat, and that's depressing.
The internet is fucking dangerous, man.
Yeah, see?
Like
the internet is dangerous, I will agree.
Did you see, just to be, did you see, now, R.I.P., because this guy passed away, but did you see the guy that tried to shoot himself into like orbit, I guess, with a self-made rocket? Yeah. Look
no,
at it.
I missed that one.
You know what? I feel like I read about this somewhere and was just like, all right.
Yeah, it happened like a few months ago. Like he's tried it multiple times and he got the highest that he's ever got, and the thing like stopped and he came crashing down.
See, I kind of sympathize with that a little bit, because I feel like right now all of us kind of want to get off the planet just a little bit, you know? So I can understand.
Yeah.
Why not give it a go?
People are just losing their minds. I think that's all it is. But as far as I can tell, now I've seen several articles now about Stephen Carpenter, and it definitely doesn't seem like a shtick. It doesn't seem like it's a joke. It seems like he actually believes it. And you know what? It's something I was thinking about afterwards, and I think I've asked this question to you guys before, but does this affect the band at all for you? I feel like I'll never be able to listen to Deftones without thinking, that guitarist, man.
I don't know.
I don't think it should, because my problem is I think it's just me changing as a person. So now that has happened to me. Like, I'm gonna listen to Deftones and think immediately about Stephen Carpenter and not believing that the Earth is fucking round and that coronavirus doesn't exist. But, you know, people who have done terrible things in the past, or potentially terrible things, I'm okay with their music, and I would like to know why. Can we bring a psychiatrist on the show at some point to let me know?
If there's anyone qualified listening, because we have lots of psychiatrists that tune in.
Can you please get in touch? Because I'm wondering, is it one of these old guys things where you get to a certain age where you just like, everybody pre that age, I'm like, they couldn't have done any wrong. And then now it's like everyone I see is just like, he thinks the Earth is flat. What a loser.
What was was B.O.B.? Was he not like...
He was a flat earther, yes.
He was a flat earther as well.
And I often think about that, and I think that's why his career completely died. But his first record was pretty good.
It was.
That's the first ever thing I heard Bruno Mars on. He was on a bus.
Where has Bruno Mars gone?
I don't know.
To Mars?
Oh, man, I should have
He made his own rocket and shot himself into the air.
Him. That was the guy.
You know what? I should have brought it out, but I hear Bruno Mars all the time at this time of year because we have a little Christmas sloth that's like a little toy, and like you press his hand and he starts singing a song, and randomly of all the Christmas songs they could have picked, he sings a Lazy Song by Bruno Mars. And I thought that was bizarre, but he's been in our family for years now, and he's great. He looks like a really relaxed sloth. I'll bring him out next week. And he just sings the Lazy Song, and it's like, it's not even a Christmas song. Where were they going with this?
Could make it a Christmas song, just like Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, there's absolutely no indication that the Lazy Song has anything to do with Christmas. I don't even think it was released at Christmas time. But then, you see, the thing is, they could have changed the lyrics on it to be Christmassy, because we do have, we have a dog stocking for our dog, you know, like you do. Obviously, above the fireplace, you need to have one for your dog and put all the treats in there. But it's one that you like push and it starts singing a song, but it sings that song Shout. You know, it's like, you make me wanna shout.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But it goes a little something like this. It goes, Merry Merry Christmas. And then it says sings the shout song.
Is that when the ears like
yeah,
do this?
and the ears, so it goes like Merry Christmas, and then it's like just does the shout song until it gets to one verse where it's like, don't forget the milk and cookies. Don't forget to bring all the presents to your house now. Shout a little bit louder now. It's like there's some of it's Christmas and some of it's not.
Just riffing.
Clearly they made that toy very fast.
Here, Mike, you know he's going to clip that and put it in a Christmas song that he's going to do. That's going to be a sample from the podcast in a song that he does over Christmas.
Don't forget the milk and cookies.
I think he's getting the backup versions now, just slightly further away from the mic.
Gotta get that.
Fucking
We need some room noise. Let me just push the mic back. Get some sweet room noise. Don't forget the milk and cookies. That's probably clipping like mad on my mic. It's set up for a podcast, not for singing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I don't know. If there's any psychiatrists out there, can you please get in touch? Because I am interested. Because, like, you know what? I'll listen to a Michael Jackson song any day of the week.
Now, didn't Deftones just recently come out with a song as early as last week, or maybe the week after before?
They did. Is
A
this
single?
promotion? Do you think that's the name of the game? Promo?
See.
FOMO promo?
See.
Yeah, they're probably taking a page out of Kanye's book. It's like, you know, any kind of just bring attention to the band. Just say something crazy. Yeah.
Just anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested in that. I would like to hear what other people think on that, but I always think it's strange that in this day and age, when someone annoys me and says something really dumb, kind of wrecks a band for me. I don't think that's fair, and I would like to be more ignorant to it. But why does it not bother me with older bands?
I think the only band I wouldn't listen to again is just The Obvious. I'm not going to say then. Oh, I'm not going to say their name.
We're both thinking the same thing. Nobody is ever going to listen to The Lost Prophets again. And I'll tell you what, you see, if you have since, you listen to it discreetly. In you got in a closet in your house and put your headphones in, had to find them because you're not going to find them on any streaming site. You had the CD and you had to burn it and put MP3s onto your phone and then listen to it in your shoe cupboard in secret. I don't know what people have in their houses anymore, Andrew. I'm recording a podcast from a cabin in the back of my garden, so what do I know? I have to come out. If I want to listen to Lost Prophets, I wouldn't even do it in here. I'd probably go out the back into the forest and then never break the phone afterwards like a burner and throw it away. And no one can ever know that I listened to Last Train Home again or Rooftops. What was that their songs? I don't know. Last Summer.
Oh, someone else I can't listen to. R. Kelly. And he done a song. He done an album with Jay-Z, Best of Both Worlds, and I can't listen to that album ever again.
I think Mike is gonna say this for me, but
yeah. See, I get those.
I get R. Kelly. Get R. Kelly, but the thing is, R. Kelly felt like some of his songs insinuated that he was doing creepy things with young girls, whereas Lost probably just talk about getting the old train.
I think the whole thing is I both of those I wouldn't listen to anymore, but the Deftones guy is just stupidity. Surely that's a little bit more I can still listen to this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll still listen to Deftones, but I just feel like it's it's always in my head.
You've lost respect there for some reason it's tinted the music.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I just find it unusual. But like I was saying, it's not the same with certain other artists. Anytime you bring up conversations like this, people will go straight to John Lennon and what a horrible woman beater and womanizer he was. And I was just like, is it just me being ignorant that I don't want to think about that? But it's weird how I can that seems really bad to me. That's something in my mind where it's I'm gonna block that out. But I love the Deftones.
Yeah.
The Deftones. What HMI? I love Deftones.
Deftones.
The Deftones. But yeah, I don't know. Just for some reason, I'm gonna think about that now. But whenever I listen to the Beatles, I don't really think about John Lennon being an absolute dickhead. But I don't know. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Somebody DM me and tell me what's wrong with me. That would be good.
Also, if we can get a psychiatrist on, it saves me paying for one.
Oh, Lucinda. Whoa. Oh, man. Oh, right. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting tidbit. Now, to get a little bit serious for just a second, like, you guys, I don't know, you probably haven't heard this yet, but the other day I was reading about Eddie Van Halen's son, who I think his name is Wolfgang, if memory serves, which is an awesome thing to name your son after Mozart, but Wolfgang Van Halen, fucking awesome, man. But yeah, he released it's actually his first song that he's like fully released, where he's like played all the instruments on it, but it's a tribute to his dad, and it's called Distance. And right, I don't know whether it's me like, I don't know, becoming a dad, or maybe it was just the way it was done or something. I swear to God, I sat and watched that, and no exaggeration, I bawled my eyes out for like a good 10 minutes afterwards. Like, I just couldn't. The video and everything together, there's like all these home videos of like Eddie Van Halen with his son whenever he's just a kid, and he's like, got him on all the instruments and stuff, and he just seemed like a really good dad too. And oh, man, it's a song I really think like everyone should listen to it, and especially watch the video because it is so sweet. But man, I don't know, really got me. I don't know. It hadn't even hit home about Eddie Van Halen. I hadn't even thought about it because this year's been so mad, and then it was just like, oh yeah, Eddie Van Halen, man, he's gone.
I didn't even know there was a song. Like, what's the song called?
It's
so
called
I can write it down.
Distance, and it's only just out. Like, this is literally news from like I think about a week ago, like last week. This has happened since the last podcast, but I read about it, and then I went on and watched it. And I just was not ready for. I just watched it out of interest more than anything. And I'm just sitting there in my living room crying. I was just like, oh man. And I was like, is it just, you can tell me afterwards, Andy, did you cry? Or was it just me? Is it the father and me crying?
No, I mean, yeah, I probably will as well. I don't know what it's about, but I've just finished watching Queen's Gambit and I shed a tear.
Queen's Gambit?
Everyone's a bit delicate at the moment. I think that's potentially contributing to it. Yeah.
Oh god, I watched The Mandalorian. Woo, it's so good. All my eyes out of that. I do want to cry whenever I watch The Mandalorian. Just every time I see Baby Yoda, I just want to cry. And I did call Baby Yoda this week. All right, I'll give in. But yeah, go check out the song on Spotify. The title is called Distance, and the artist is Mammoth, WVH, which is obviously for Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen. But I would more so recommend the YouTube video. You should definitely watch the video. It's very sweet.
I will let you know if I cry next week.
Yeah, we'll get an update.
Just start the podcast with tears running down your eyes next week.
I know. That's why it's like, I'm glad I didn't do like a reaction video, like Stuart's reaction video to the new Wolfgang Van Halen song, and it's like, it just would have been crying for like 20 minutes.
You know how popular reaction videos are?
I know, we could have got loads of views from that. That would be insensitive, wouldn't it? But yeah, killed me. Although I often think this, and I am very aware that I probably always sound like this guy to be as once I became a father. You know what, guys? I swear to God, and you'll know when it happens to you. Whenever it happens, changes everything. Stuff that you didn't really give a shit about before. I was watching How I Met Your Mother the other day, and I've watched that show like a million times. And there's a part where they look at their child that's clearly not even their child, Lily Marshall, and they look down at him, and he just smiles in his sleep. And I was like, oh God, tear it up, everyone. And I was just like, I know how silly that is. Fucking hits me right in the heart now. Can't deal with it no more.
I mean,
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, you just hear like people, fathers, and all that stuff. It's like it sticks a rocket up your ass, and you just want to get through life. Your focus is now that one person. So,
oh yeah, completely changed everything. Flicks a switch or something, and I mean, I think most dads would say the same, even though like it's hard to say. It's like I want to be honest whenever I say this, but also don't want to sound like insensitive. It's just like at the beginning, it's so different. It's like whenever Alex is just born, it's like you know that you love him whenever you get him, but it's different at the start because it's very much like, you know, with the mother nursing all the time, he sleeps a lot, and you're not like, as much as you love him, it's not what it is now. It felt like it hit the 8 month period, and he's just doing like these little things where it's like he sees something and he just wants it, and he just like will grab it, or whenever he sees me, he recognizes me and he knows my voice and stuff, and it's like, now he kills me. I can't even look at him, and I'm just like, yes.
And then 17 years down the line, you'll be like Denzel Washington at the end of training day going, "You motherfucker."
You disrespect me in my home. Man, I know I'm gonna be the pushover for sure gonna be the pushover. Ever see Malcolm in the Middle? I'm just gonna be Hal, just walking around in like my underwear all the time and just like let them do whatever. Which does not insinuate that my wife will be Lois, like, but we'll both be Hal.
Do you know that's a show? I only watched that when I went round to my fucking. When was Malcolm in the Middle out? Like late
late 90s.
Too long ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was the 90s or whether it was 2000s.
I'm sure it was 2000s because I was round my mate Martin South. Shout out Martin South. I only watched it, and we watched it because Bret Hart put the sharpshooter on Chris Benoit in the titles.
Finished in 2006.
It finished?
Yeah, 2000 to 2006.
Oh, 2000. Oh, I was counting on 99, but it's not. It's a 2000 show.
And then he became a goddamn drug dealer.
Who's that? Frankie Muniz?
Oh, fucking, what's his name? Walter White?
Oh, I was really confused. I thought you meant in real life, and I was like, "Have you ever read this thing about?" No, I have not. I have not read this thing. I've only heard about it. But there's something about Frankie Muniz got into a car accident after Malcolm in the Middle, and he like had really bad brain damage. He can't remember being on the show.
No way.
That sounds like another one of those urban school myths.
Is that from the?
This is going to become a regular segment now.
Is that from The Onion or something? Is that an Onion article?
Here, no.
I've seen it somewhere.
See, I was following you up until the point where you said he forgot the show. I'm pretty sure you're right. He got into a car accident or something, but I don't think he's completely forgot the show that he was in for 6 years.
Better internet connection than me.
I'm gonna try and see.
3 minutes is
Frankie
to
Muniz.
research if Frankie Muniz has like memory loss.
He literally has TV memory loss, like you would get on a movie or a show.
I don't mean as in he specifically like remembered everything else from that time, but he just forgot that he made a show called Malcolm in the Middle. I mean that he forgot the last couple of years.
He's walking around like wondering, why do people recognize me? I mean, was I in?
Personal life and health.
Right, this is the first thing that came up for him at the top. After sustaining severe injuries during... Now, this is a revelation to me. During his career as a professional race car driver, Frankie Muniz revealed he is still in pain. I had a crash and broke my back and injured my hands and ribs. The Malcolm in the Middle star shared on Monday's season premiere of Dancing with the Stars. That was an interview.
He's fucking dancing.
Hey, did you read it though? And it says, surprisingly,
I haven't got that far yet.
Surprisingly, on October 9th, 2017, it was revealed on Dancing with the Stars that he, in fact, has suffered significant memory loss, forgetting that he starred in his own films and shows, including Malcolm in the Middle.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Because I think that's why you've seen him.
Like, I am aware that I am a very rich person, but I couldn't tell you why.
Where did I get my money again? I think it's just anything before the crash, and then, like, if you think about it, I mean, you haven't really seen him in anything since, because I'm assuming that he must have quit acting, really, after that, and was just like...
Imagine he woke up and he thought that his TV family was his actual family. How screwed up would that be? Like Walter White is his dad?
Oh dear.
Oh,
Went down that road. I'm glad I feel vindicated. Y'all laughed at me.
nice.
Y'all
There you go.
laughed at me.
There you
I
go.
retain useless pieces of knowledge, such as Frankie Budez's car crash and subsequent memory loss. So I can tell you stuff like that at all times. Uh, so I tell you what we'll do. We'll right here. We're just gonna jump over to an interview that we did with Revue. They're gonna be talking about their latest single, which is called "The Wolf." Uh, it is a great track, and I feel like I'm a radio person whenever I say that because they always say that, and like they haven't even listened to the track. It's a great track. Well, we love the track here. They don't really say any specifics. Like they're just like it's a good track. It's got a lot of elements to it.
We've been paid a lot of money to play it.
Yeah. You know what's one of my least favorite things asked on radio interviews is when like you get towards the end, they're like, "Okay, tell us where we can get our hands on your music," and it's kind of like I don't know, like all the normal places. Like if your fans are listening to this show, I would hazard a guess that they know where to get music from. Um, any more? Do we have to say any more? And I know they're just trying to be helpful, but it's 30 seconds I could have spent talking about the actual meaning behind the song. But usually, whenever I do radio interviews and like that just gets cut out. If I actually try and talk about the real meaning of my songs, they're like, "Let's cut that," and then it's like, "Where can we get your music?" Spotify, I guess. Uh, YouTube. I don't know. I upload it to a distribution site that I pay for, and they do that. I don't know. It's apparently everywhere. Uh,
Oh.
but yeah, I'm not a radio show. So what we decided to do was we got in touch with Revue. We wanted them to talk a little bit about the track, the meaning behind it. So we'll throw it over to them virtually and socially distanced.
So the idea behind the wolf
Mm-hmm.
came from I was on Facebook or Instagram or something one day, and I came across this woman giving this speech, like one of those valedictorian speeches, and she was talking about how she'd been thinking about fairy tales that she had heard when she was growing up, and how she had this epiphany that all the messages that were given to her from these fairy tales when she was growing up were like, don't be curious, stick to the path, be a good girl or you'll meet with a sticky end, sort of thing. And she suddenly had this epiphany that she was like, I've internalized this message, and in actual fact, I don't have to be Little Red Riding Hood. I don't have to stick to the path. I can be the wolf. In fact, I've always been the wolf. So that was where the idea came from. Yeah. While I was listening to it, I was having my own epiphany going, oh my God, I identify with that so much, because I loved fairy stories when I was a little girl. I really liked Rapunzel, but I really thought that, I had to be the damsel in distress and wait for, the handsome prince to rescue me.
Thankfully, she grew out of that before I came along. I wouldn't have known. Despite the fairy tales that I liked growing up, being like, you're a hero, you can kill dragons, you can fight the gods, kind of thing.
Yeah,
which is sort of the other side of the coin.
It is also problematic, yeah. The process was pretty much very similar to a lot of our songs. Yeah. So you went out and I, came up with this song idea, and then you came back and I was embarrassed to play it for you for a while. But eventually did, because I'm scared that you're not going to like it, but you thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And it was mostly all there. Like all the bits of melody. I think you had pretty much all the lyrics and almost all the chords.
I think he's being generous, because sometimes there's parts of the songs that I'm writing that I don't even put a chord in, because I know it's like, and then there'd be something there, the melody goes here, and you fix it and stuff.
Sure. Sure. But it was pretty much all sorted, so we just had to figure out the arrangement. Mm-hmm. And I'd heard a few of these really great songs, really great sort of bluesy songs with a lot of vocal in them, like chanty vocals, in particular this fantastic Negretto song on the Tiny Desk series called Lost in a Crowd. And it starts with this really great hummy sort of chanty thing. So that was in my head when Emma came up with this song. And it sounded so sort of ominous and earthy and stuff that it felt like it would really fit as an intro rather than trying to come up with like a guitar thing or something. And I've got the session here, and there's like 15 tracks of vocal just for this humming. So I did some low ones, Emma did some higher ones, and some harmonies, and then we got Sean McCann, who plays bass in Civil Simian and does great backing vocals, to come and do some higher male vocals and some harmonies to really fill it out.
Yeah.
Well, and just I guess, like for the rest of the arrangement idea, the chorus, especially the second half of the chorus, where the wolf part hits, like it's such a soaring part of vocal that the arrangement needed to, support that. That's where the biggest chords needed to be, the loudest stuff, most cymbals and everything. So the first part of the chorus had to lead up to that, and then the verses had to lead up to the first part of the chorus. So, you had that classic
Yeah.
contour.
The thing I would say about the arrangement that I remember is when we were talking about the guitar solos, and when I was listening to the two guitar solos, I was like, well, there's three guitar solos, but when I was listening to, I was
and a
going,
half,
no,
maybe.
this one has to be, this one has to be the first guitar solo people hear, because, we're aware people don't always listen to the whole songs. We want to get the good juicy solos in
Yeah,
before
'cause
they
the
before
rest
they
of the
turn
solos
off.
are at the end. If your outro is just instrumental, a
Yeah.
lot of people just they're going to turn it off.
Yeah, and for the radio edit, we cut that down a bit as
We
well,
did,
didn't
yeah.
we? Yeah.
Yeah, took out pretty much all the end solos, I think. So the drums were just recorded here, in the studio. So they actually ended up being one of the later things recorded, because we recorded a bunch of stuff in the attic of our old house,
Where we couldn't do drums.
where we couldn't do drums, obviously, before we moved here. But yeah, that was Colin O'Flynn, who also plays for Civil Simian. He came around and did the drums for us. Pretty standard mic setup. The bass just went straight into the desk, virtual amp. A lot of the rhythm guitars. In fact, all the rhythm guitars, I think, was this old 1960s hollow body Gretsch copy. Because we figured, the one pickup that does still work would give it a nice earthy kind of sound, which would fit the song. And I think the solos are a Strat and a real Gretsch that we bought off Emma's musician brother. And then, there's slide guitar. There's obviously backing vocals Emma does in the chorus, like a lot of ooze. There's an organ, which is just this boy, that Brandon Flowers from the Killers likes to use. So this is just a micro Korg.
That's a great one.
It is great, yeah. It sounds a lot like an organ, especially if you put like what do you call those rotary cab things that organs have?
I don't know.
Like a Leslie cabinet, maybe. Like if you put like a Leslie cabinet emulation thing on them.
Done it right. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, so mostly real instruments and one slightly fake organ.
That's basically the story behind the Wolf. And thank you so much to the Six Set Bro podcast boys. Try saying that 5 times fast. Thanks so much for having us. Love the podcast, and love Don Maple's Instagram feed with his ridiculously cute baby.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you to Marty and Emma from Revue for doing all that stuff. I mean, they had to record themselves at their own place, so that was really handy that they could do that, and they have video and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Hey, good answers, people. Good answers.
Good answers.
Good answers.
So obviously you can, just as we were talking about before we went to this, you can get Revue's music on all music places. Places where you get music. Imagine if we had somebody on that the only place you could get their music was like a fucking cassette store somewhere, and it's like we only have it on cassette. That would be great, an exclusive.
Have you ever bought? Did you ever buy a cassette?
Yeah.
What was? Can you remember your first cassette?
Well, I don't know if I would have been at an age where I didn't.
Okay, do you
go and
remember?
buy
Do you
the
remember
cassettes.
what cassette? Like,
I remember we had Weird Al Yankovic, best hits. Weird Al's best hits.
That was your first memory of a cassette.
That, and I have a lot of confusion at a young age that we had Weird Al's cassette tape with all his greatest hits, and we also had Michael Jackson's greatest hits. And
Was it bad? Oh, it was greatest hits.
There's a loss of translation because all Weird Al songs were Michael Jackson spoofs. I forgot which ones were which.
They just all blended together. You kind of end up showing your age, don't you? I remember I had a Sony Walkman, and I had the soundtrack for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
By the way, like the first movie.
Yeah.
I had the vinyl. Whoops,
Oh yeah.
I had the vinyl, and I think my dad still has it. I have TURTLT power.
Probably worth a little bit now.
From the fucking 1940s.
I'm 36.
Vinyl. I didn't know they made a Ninja Turtle back in 1947.
Yeah, man. My dad had like the big like glass cabinet with like the vinyl at the top, the fucking double disc, and then like I don't know why I'm turning like it's here.
Yeah, I know. Looking at it right now, everybody.
Just on the shot.
Like, turning away from the mic, trying to just picture it in his mind's eye.
I was like, oh, memories. Yeah.
I also had a Montel Jordan tape as well.
Holy shit.
How much Montel Jordan did we have? Because we had the CD as well.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night. And the
Oh damn!
right. Man, that was so accurate that we'll probably get done for copyright because that was spot on Montel. Do you know? I still have that CD. I still have.
Oh
that.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we were kind of like heavy into R&B back in the day, TLC and stuff too.
In Toronto, so it was a must.
To this day.
If we never came to Northern Ireland, we would definitely just only like R&B pop. Like
we didn't ever touch the guitar, probably.
No, there's no chance I'd be a musician if I didn't move to this country. So shout out, NI. Yeah, I would like to. I will not talk. I'll not talk about this in great detail because I feel that I am late to the party. But speaking of NI and proud Northern Irish artists in our scene around the scene, we don't have a singer for it, so that's it. Joshua Burnside, man, that last record. Dope.
Yeah, pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do reviews. Joshua Burnside, that last record, dope. That's what I think. Your spaceship says that last record from Joshua Burnside, dope.
And where can you get it?
Who knows?
Probably on Spotify.
Put it in your fucking Google machine and it'll tell you. Don't let me do the work.
Yeah, no, I mean it just grabs you like from the start. I think I said you before. It's like the opening to it is just like so cinematic and like building and stuff. Yeah, it's just an all around great record. And the video I was just gonna say the video that we were talking about last week as well is incredible too. It's so well done.
Yeah, it's actually something, and I'm going to tag off that in a little second because you're speaking exactly about what I want you to be talking about, which is the video. But it is a record that I think for a fact that me and Michael, as brothers, we happen to share a father. And
Revelation.
I think that father would very much enjoy Josh Burnside, Into the Depths of Hell, which is the name of the record, by the way. But I actually think he'd be a big fan of that album. And yeah, I'm going to make him listen to it. So anyway, whenever you're talking about the music videos, yeah, I think we've talked about this on this show, but isn't it crazy that, right, I am involved in the music scene. I know of Joshua Burnside. I really enjoy his music. I didn't actually listen to this album and give it my full attention until I seen a really cool music video. And music videos are dying, man, and it's so unfortunate that it's like, I know it's a money thing more than likely, because it is just an extra cost and an extra thing to put out. But music videos used to be a massive thing for me personally to get me into a band. There's some bands that I still listen to that I'm like, oh, they have that awesome music video. And I hate that it's not really a thing as much because Josh's music video for Under the Concrete, like that really made me be like, yeah, that was really cool. Even just the short clip made me want to see the full video
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
it came out. And then whenever I watched the video, I was like, I actually love this song, and I've listened to it like 20 times since last week. Like I haven't stopped putting it on. And then I was like, right, I'm gonna really dive into this record because I'd only heard bits and pieces from it, and I listened from start to finish, and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. This is so good. Like I'm so down. It made me want to be like, I don't know, really makes you want to be Northern Irish. There's something very like, I don't know, very homely about it. I think it's that the folk mixed in with the that sort of moody indie or
It,
acoustic thing.
you
I don't
know,
know.
you know the
It's
thing that
all
I liked
concept.
about it, you do kind of like attach your own interests sometimes to music and your own influences and stuff as well. But you were saying like the folkiness mixed with, and it was like a loss of words for what it was. I felt like it was kind of like Lynchian, if you know what I mean. There's like a
Like the video.
dark, gritty, yeah, moodiness and stuff to it, which I really, really appreciated whenever listening to it. But it's very, very cool. But yeah, you're saying about music videos and stuff as well. It is like definitely a point that I have been thinking about loads lately. Like you, you can put out the best song in the world, and a lot of times, like if you don't have like the visuals to go along with it, it's going to be so much harder to get people on board. Like, and if there's any like bands coming up or whatnot, even with the smallest budget, I would say get out and shoot something for like your best songs that you have, because it's only going to help you get people on board with your music and stuff. And all you need is an idea. Like at the end of the day, there's free video editing programs out there. There's a program called HitFilm, which you can download for absolutely nothing if you have nothing on your PC at home. Um, Shoot on your camera. Um, Google the shit out of color grading for like movies and stuff, and just it's all the information's there for you to do it on your own. Now, fair enough, like Joshua's video is incredibly professional, and you're probably not going to get something of that quality, but there is a happy medium. And there's also, if you have like a smart or a funny idea, you can kind of work with the fact that it's, you know, it's not professionally shot. It's got like more of a home footage kind of quality to it and stuff. But yeah, if there's anybody like that has like new singles on the way and stuff, and they think this is really something that I want to try and get out there, I would definitely say try and get some visual content to go out along with it, because it goes a long way.
Well, yeah, I know it can be daunting, but like, I mean, Mike would be a perfect example of somebody, and I know, like, you haven't seen it yet. The song's not out, but you got something in the works, and you showed me the music video for it that you made yourself, and it's, to me, it's ridiculously professional. Like, I mean,
Thank you.
it's so good, and I do think it would bring even more people to the song afterwards because they'll think the video is so good. And like you didn't, I mean, think about a couple of years ago, you wouldn't have known anything about this at all. Like,
No, my only other experience, you know, like at Year Spaceship, we try and do an awful lot of different stuff, but I think that's like hangover from us being in a band for years and years. It's like you were always trying to do multiple jobs. Like you were trying to be your own tour manager, you were trying to run your own website, you were trying to draw and print your own merch and t-shirts and stuff. So it's always that thing where you have that weird sort of mindset where you're like, well, me anyways, I think you're exactly the same, Stu. I just like to get lost in learning new stuff and like going down a YouTube rabbit hole of like something that I don't know an awful lot about, but I find interesting. So the only other experience I had with music videos before was the one that I done for you and Crow, the Cosmic
yeah,
Crows, which
yeah,
was a hell of a lot of fun, but I stupidly like went straight in with overly ambitious. You guys just shot in front of a green screen,
yeah.
and I just like tried to source all this footage to lay in behind it and come up with like a story that there didn't really need to be. Like you literally just could have put a background in there and it would have been fine. But yeah, it kind of got me interested in the whole like cinematography side of things and stuff. And again, a guy from here that I kind of got inspired by as well. I was saying last week, Dan Productions. Some of the music videos that he's putting out, he actually done the one for Revue that we were just talking about there at the Wolf.
Yeah.
It's incredible footage, like, and there is actual, like, whenever you use the word cinematography and stuff, there is an awful lot of thought goes into like the color grading that he's doing and the shots that he's using and stuff. And we were talking about Sam Wickens as well. There's one that he done for him, and it's all in black and white, and it looks cool as hell. But yeah, it's just I definitely think it's like an integral part of putting a song out now, especially if you're trying to like start a new project or something. It's like come straight in with the visuals and stuff right away.
Can I ask you real quick, what did you record your music video on? I know it's not out yet, but just so you can bear this in mind whenever it eventually does come out, but was that on your phone?
Yeah, which is 2-3-year-old phone, Pixel 3, which, don't get me wrong, like, the camera is good on it. I love to take pictures as well, and that's why I bought it. But I think actually they say like the camera is great, the video on Pixels is kind of lacking. So it's like 1080p camera and stuff. But then I say like the real trick is, if anybody's thinking about or inspired by this now, me talking about it, color grading is the real thing that you need to look into. And all it does is it turns your normal footage into something more cinematic. And you're talking about, like, you know, making the shadows darker and the highlights pop more and stuff, so you get that real contrasty look that you're used to seeing in TV and movies and stuff.
But like letterbox on there.
Yeah, exactly. That's
letterbox instantly makes it look like you shot something like Scorsese. Like,
I was going to say Nolan, but
well, like, it is more so Nolan. Like, but it's just all of a sudden you're like, I'm a director now. I put a letterbox on it.
But I mean, if that sort of thing piques your interest, then I think you'll quickly fall into the rabbit hole with it and stuff. But yeah, it was just like, thanks for the shout out and all with that video and stuff. But that is literally something that I'll probably just timidly drop and not do anything with. It was more of a,
we will drop this together. I've been helping Mike do a bit of production on it, trying to add a little couple things on it myself at the minute.
Which you have made it sound incredible, by the way.
Thank you. But I'm pouring some maple syrup all over that dang thing and fucking ruining it. But yeah, it's I got a lot of irons in the works at the minute, but it's cool because I'm working with all these different people. So it's like me and Mike have got a thing that we're working on. I'm not gonna start giving out names. I know I did say last week that like everything would lapse at the minute, so no spoilers. But I'm working with a lot of different artists at the minute, so it's a lot of fun. And yeah, it's the best thing to come out of lockdown is the fact that I can't meet with people, and it's just like you just start asking them over the internet, and you're just like, hey, you want to do something together? Can I send you files and you send me stuff back? That would be cool. Like,
we're saying about. I was just gonna say, we're saying about music videos. That's another great thing to do as well. Is just friggin' work with more people and just give things a chance and stuff.
Technically, there's nothing that stops somebody like me, right? I'm using an example because there's the three of us here, like, but there's nothing that stops me from, like, I have a song ready to go and I send it to Mike because I know Mike's good at making music videos, and I'm like, Mike, do you have any ideas for this? That, like, you don't need me to be in it.
Yeah, that was the weird thing that, like, after, again, it's like you be in a band for years and stuff, and maybe it's just like being young or being naive or being stupid or morons, basically, but like the light just dawns on you all of a sudden. It's like, we're trying to get all the guys together to do a friggin' music video or whatever. One, you come up with a overly ambitious idea where you would need like an incredible budget and a fucking cast of people. And then two, it's like, oh, well, I'm working this day and I'm working this day or whatever. And you're trying to get like 4 or more people or whatever's in your band all together or whatever. And then all of a sudden you sit down one day and you realize it's like, you know, one person can be in the. It doesn't matter. Nobody could be in the band. Like fucking Sum 41 done a freaking video with action figures in it. You know what I mean? If you have a smart idea, just do it and get it done instead of like, you know, falling at the first hurdle of trying to like organize everybody being in a video or whatever. You know.
And Sum 41 is a perfect example of a band that had. And people might get angry at me. They have better music videos than they did songs, but it made me love the songs. It's like In Too Deep and Hell's Song. The videos are genius. And then they had that song, was it Still Waiting? The one where they like copied the Strokes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was hilarious, man. That was really funny for the time. But I don't know, oh, man. Just I need to see music videos come back. Let's make that a thing again. Uh, yeah, color grading. Anyway, color grading is the key, everyone. Joshua Burnside, man, like well done. I don't know what I'm saying. Well done. I don't know what I'm
Well
saying.
done.
I'm trying to say I'm enjoying it. I'm gushing. Oh, Joshua, if you're listening, I love it. I'm your biggest fan. But I really love the album. It's called Into the Depths of Hell. Go check it out. Go watch the music video for Under the Concrete, and please watch the music video for The Wolf by Revue, who you heard from earlier. Andy,
Yes.
did you watch the NI Music Prize?
Yeah, but do you want to go to Mike first so he can do his description about it? Because
Oh,
I only
yeah.
seen I only seen a few.
Can we
Not-
just confirm? I'm gonna take a little step back here because I will be honest. I got wrapped up with something. I couldn't watch it. It was very annoying. Whatever. So these guys watched it. I will throw it over to them. NI Music Prize was last week for anybody who missed it. It was on the on the Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah.
I
On
watched
Thursday.
it back. I watched it back the day after on the YouTube page.
I know,
That's the first thing I'll say. Like, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's there to be watched at any time. So, like, definitely jump in. I actually weirdly watched it twice because me and Jade sat down and watched it on the night. But then I had seen my mom and dad who we're bubbling with at the minute, and I'd said to my dad about watching it, so he watched it again. But yeah,
Can I just interject very quickly and just say the only reason that I haven't seen it just in case people are like, this guy's all for the music scene, that they don't watch it. Just having an intense time. I'm on my second lockdown here where I've been notified again. I'm isolating again. It's been a crazy week since the last episode, so don't even talk to me. I'm gonna watch it. I got 2 weeks of doing nothing else, so yeah, take it away.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, like, not so much a description of it, but I was just gonna run down the winners and stuff there. So let's see. I was gonna start at the end there, which is probably not a good idea. I'll start at the beginning here. Sasha Samara.
I was about to say Chris Nolan. You know I was. Or Tarantino.
Tarantino-esque. Sasha Samara won the Oh Yeah Contender Award. She done a live performance on the night. That you caught that, didn't you, Andy? Yeah.
She opened up the show, and that was the first time ever listening to her. And
yeah, I was not aware of her before, and weirdly on the night I was texting Sean from Bright Green Octopus and stuff, and I think maybe she had got to play a show or so, or at least he was aware of her just before lockdown happened, because he was saying, you know, like she's really, really great, and I was really happy to see that she won and stuff. So yeah, if anybody else hasn't heard of Sasha Samara, go check her out. Oh Yeah Contender, that's obviously like up and coming, you know, it's going to be a big thing soon, I'm sure. The best single was won by Arborist. Then what else did we have there? Best live act was really happy to see New Pagans won best live act. It was very, very cool.
Love New Pagans, man.
Yeah, they're pretty incredible. And then that was the big one of the night. Then was the best album, which Kit Philippa won, which I was so happy to see. I think she was up for and maybe won. I would have to go back and look it up. I think she won single last year. So like she's been working really hard for like a good few years now in the NI music scene and stuff, and it was just, she was like, you could see the emotion in her face like whenever she won it. It was really, really, really nice to see. And she also done a live performance. I think she done one towards the beginning of the night, and then done one after she won as well. So but yeah, the other thing I would say about it was, obviously, we were talking about it last week because of all that's going on with COVID. This is like the first time it's been streamed pretty much live. Like, it kept cutting back to the presenters, Gemma Bradley and Rigsy from Across the Line. So that stuff was all kind of live in the OES Center. And then over the last couple of days or weeks or whatever, they had recorded all the performances, I'm assuming, in the OEM Music Center as well. But hopefully more of that in years to come, because as I say, I was texting back and forth with Sean from BGO, and I said, this is the thing about the NI Music Prize is like all the people that attend are usually musos and stuff from the scene, and are usually already aware of the people that are up for the awards or the music that's going on and stuff. It's like this needs to get to a more general audience and just music lovers. And there's so many people that don't realize how much good music there is, like right on their doorstep. And hopefully, because it was so well done, but I know it was a massive undertaking, like to film all these gigs and to do all these live streams and the presenters to do all the shit that they had to do. But hopefully they can maybe manage to pull it off again next year whenever they're also doing a live show on top of that. But it could be a big ask. But it would just be nice to see if the live stream thing continued as well.
Yeah. Did they do it on the? Because I didn't see last year's one. Did they do a YouTube feed last year?
I don't.
Or was it just like highlights or something?
I think they might have put up the live performances last year. But I would have to double check that. But yeah, there was just kind of like a kind of a sense of an event about it, sort of thing, because you were kind of watching part of it live, if you know what I mean. So it was kind of cool. We just got a couple of drinks in for the night and stuff, and but yeah, hopefully they're able to do it again next year.
Solid show. I reckon that's what I'm saying. I reckon they should do. Not that I fucking have any say in what they do or not, but the whole they're being on YouTube and stuff. Just the ease of access to people like me who don't really, because you went to last year's one, Mike, didn't you?
It was the year before, actually.
Year before.
Sorry. Yeah,
you went to it, so like that's probably one of the times you could see it. It being accessible on YouTube, it's like you can watch it live like you did, or you can just go back to it, and there's even more eyes that wouldn't have been on these people. That's just like the access is just there, like straight away on YouTube. I think they should do that every year. If even if things get back to normal.
Yeah, and it's there to be constantly shared as well. Which just sort of thinking now as we're talking about it out loud, we should probably. I can't remember if I put a link to it up on the Your Spaceship Facebook. If I haven't already, or we could even repost it again. Yeah, but just in case anybody doesn't know where to get it, it's on Oh Yeah Center's YouTube page. But like, definitely go back and watch it and find out what NI Music's all about.
I suppose it would be something that would somebody would have to clear it up for me, and I'm sure there's people that listen to the show that could probably tell me. The only thing I can see being different is I'd never been to the thing before. I assumed it was certain people got tickets. Could you buy tickets to it? Because if you could, then where does that money go to? Is that the only thing that would?
I honestly don't know. I just happen to, as you know, like I volunteer in the OEM Music Center and stuff. So one year I did get offered tickets, but I don't really know if there is like
Yeah, I'm curious just because it would make sense if people bought tickets and it made money for something. I can't really see it with the overheads of like the likes of having it in the Ulster Hall or wherever they have it, and they put on this giant show. Is like, surely even if there is a ticket cost, it probably doesn't even fully cover that, and they probably get grants and things from the Arts Council to put something like that on. So I agree, and maybe it is a bigger undertaking, but I think things like this where you need to reach a bigger audience is key. And I mean, we've been saying that for years. It's the whole reason we do this show. And I've been trying to like hit the nail on the head for years of saying like, the point of this show is to try and combine an entertaining and easygoing podcast where people can just enjoy listening to it who aren't music fans, and then they might get something out of it. Like whenever it comes to Northern Irish music especially, we don't just talk about Northern Irish music, we don't just talk about music in general, it covers a wide array of things. And I've always been so like happy about how many people just jump on and just like listening to it and find it a fun show or a funny show or whatever they're getting from it, and then at the end of it, they're like, oh, I listened to that band on that you were talking about the other day, and it's like it's extra fans that you never would have got any other way. It's just a way to grab somebody who is not a scenester and then put them onto a local band that is like playing right here that they hadn't heard of before.
Well, and that's what that's what we talked about behind the scenes as well, is that whole idea, and we try to do it our best. I always like fall into the accidental old routine of this is exactly what we were trying to avoid, by the way, but referring to any music as local music, because weirdly for the general music fan, it's almost like a dirty word, and right away they put it on a lower level. So that was the whole thing with the podcast. It's like you talk about like friggin' Kanye or God knows whatever else is out there. We're talking about Deftones and everything else tonight, and then you just switch to a band from here, and you make no distinction between the two, because really there isn't, because some of the stuff that is coming out of this country is just on that level. Like, it's on par and it's incredible. So as you say, that's kind of like what we're trying to do here, is make no distinction, get those general music listeners on board and get them to actually hear stuff that's being made right on their doorstep.
I actually had something similar that happened a few days ago, where I was talking to music. I can't remember who it was to, one of my mates anyway. And I said, do you ever listen to local music? And he's like, nah. So, and then I just left it. And then I was like, oh, here, listen to this guy. And it was actually Liam Miyagi just put a video out.
Oh, yeah. Jeff Hardy?
Yes, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But I didn't show him the video. I just let him listen to the thing. And he was like, oh, this is great. Where's he from? Or where does he perform? And I was like, well, that would be classed as local. And he's like, oh, so like you said, as soon as you put that local, people instantly go, they're probably playing acoustic in a bar or something.
Even give it a chance. Yeah. Exactly.
It's unfortunate that that's the case, because it's very strange. It's like for a band, if you're from somewhere, like, and we'll use, because we live here, we'll use Northern Ireland as the perfect example, is like people who I would argue are making incredible music on the level better than a lot of stuff that I'm hearing on the radio. Not even like, sometimes you can say this and maybe they don't have the money to get a good producer on board, or maybe they're not going to the best studios and stuff. There are artists here currently that are, the stuff they're making is incredible. They're recording with the right people. It's being sent to the right people to master it. The finished product sounds better than stuff I'm hearing all over the radio. Like, and it's still, I don't know, it's still classed as, I know, but they're just, because they're from down the road, as they say, it's just like, it's out. But it's funny how that becomes a thing, and then once you surpass a certain level, don't really know where it is, but you get to a level where people are then like, very proud.
They're from here.
They're from
here. Yeah.
And it's like, isn't it weird how like two-sided it is that people aren't willing to support you when you're trying to make a run of it, and then the minute that you're big, it's like, oh, they're from here. I mean, Snow Patrol is the perfect example of somebody like, he's from here. And all. People do it with Two Door Cinema Club, and it's like, they're not even, like, most of these bands didn't make their name for themselves here. Like, they didn't. And Gary's always been very good of saying, like, it took an army of people to make anything for Snow Patrol.
Yeah.
But I mean, the long and short of it is they didn't really get their success here. They had to move away. That's what everybody has to do, and that's what we need to stop.
Like, is that what did Brand New Friend do that?
They haven't yet. They haven't yet, but they definitely could. I mean, but it's a huge risk. I mean, we had Taylor from Brand New Friend on the show before. You can see the video episode whenever we had him around pre-COVID, whenever we could actually talk to people in person. And he said that he was talking about how some people would consider them having made it to a certain extent, inverted commas, made it because they got signed to a successful label. But, it's still a case of they didn't have any money. And there's a couple of members of their band that were pretty much threatened with their jobs they were working at the time, and say if they're going to go on that tour, they're not allowed. I know you can't just walk out of your job, but they were trying to get time off. And they were trying to get some form of like career break, and their jobs weren't giving it to them. So it was kind of like, you
have to take a gamble here, sort of thing.
Yeah, that guaranteed financial support is going out the window, and you're taking a big chance on something that is not because of them as a band, just anyone, is unlikely to happen. It's like you could give it your all for years and years of your life if you're passionate about it, and it's still, the likelihood of being able to make a living off of it is so small. I know an example that we can use again from experience is a band that Mike and I especially have always loved is Electric Six, and it was cool. We got to work with like Dick Valentine from that band, or Tyler Spencer, real name. But you know, it's an eye opener to see the amount of work that those guys have to put in to try and support themselves financially. Like, I mean, some people just think, oh, they must be loaded because they released that song High Voltage or Gay Bar. It's like they're definitely not. I mean, that's
They've put out an album every single year pretty much since
But,
then.
yeah, an album every year, which everyone knows you don't really make the money off the album now, but it's a reason for them to go and tour. So they
Every
tour
year?
every year,
Yeah.
and they come to the places they know they'll sell out. The likes of the Limelight was like annually Limelight show. Me and Mike would always be there. They got to sell their merch at it. They would do these Kickstarter things where the most recent thing. So instead of them paying to get the album made, they were essentially doing a Kickstarter because people who are fans of that band know that they're guaranteed to drop an album every year. So it was like, we'll make this album if we reach this amount of money. And then they had all these crazy like things that you could get from them, like, you know, like Tyler will show up at your house and play like a backyard barbecue or something, and they're like,
You
and
know,
he
one of
does
the
it.
you know one of the ones that I loved was he'll drunk dial you one night and
Yeah.
just have a chat with you.
He'll drunk call you, he'll drink loads, and then he'll phone you. You just have a talk for 10 minutes.
We're getting deep into Electric Six territory here, and I know everybody's not a fan, but I just wanted to touch slightly on the fact that I am not even this deep into Electric Six yet. But you know that he has his own collection of erotic novels
Yes, I
that
do.
he's written. They're like detective novels.
But this is the clever thing: is they diversify, and I know that sounds absolutely like crazy, but he does all these things. He has his own Patreon. People fund him for that, and he's constantly making and throwing content out to try and make it. Obviously, this is what they want to do. They're not going to just have a job down at your local store. This is what they want to do with their lives, but they're just getting by.
Someone that was top of the UK charts, like
However
many years
or
ago.
something, number one or number two.
Number one or number two, yeah.
And he's looking for places to crash whenever he comes over. He stayed with Mike.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
if that doesn't make you realize that you don't just become successful all of a sudden, then like people look at Electric Six and think successful, which they are, but it doesn't mean
It's
that
fucking hard work, yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're in the top 1% where it's just like you have it all, you know. But yeah, I do love those guys. I think if anything, that was the biggest eye-opening thing to sort of see how they managed to keep going after all this time, and they do put so much work in. It's crazy. Yeah.
So, a detective erotic novel.
Yeah, I wish it'd probably take me too long here, but I wish I could read you out some of the titles of them.
I'll find some.
He's absolute genius. You should just go on the. Can I just say, if you're not a fan,
there's
of
one.
Chinatown
Reach Around.
Chinatown Reach Around. They all have great names, by the way. Can I just say?
They're on the Kindle store as well. If you want to get them that way. Fairfax Facial is one.
Oh, that's what they're currently with all this COVID stuff. They're doing virtual shows. They done a big Halloween spooktacular where they sold tickets online, and you had to have like an exclusive code to get into it to watch it and stuff. And I think they sold it out. Like they grind so hard. They really do.
I could just picture him saying it in his voice here. His lead character is Bart Duquesne.
Have you never seen it?
And they're not erotic novels, sorry, they're pornographic thriller series. Here's another one, Maida Vale Muff Dive.
Here we go, on the Christmas list.
Yeah, so exactly. If you're looking to buy that special someone in your life a Christmas present, just jump over to the Kindle store.
Can I just say, right? I've just found here one of the Dick Valentine drunk dials packages that he filmed. So I gotta.
No, dude, man. Like I'm still up, man. Like it's like 7:30 in the morning. fucking sun's out. I'm still up. I'm chilling in my daughter's room. She's at school and shit. Yeah. Fuck, it's good talking to you, bro.
What?
All the fucking political correctness and shit. Killing this country, man. Hold on, I gotta find my smokes. Where to put my fucking smokes?
Sorry, went on to the next video, but yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, Dick Valentine phones you drunk at 7 in the morning. It's great.
I don't know why. Do you know the first image that came into my head when, like the scene? I'm setting the scene in my head when he's sounding like that. It was a noir scene, just him behind a frosty door.
It's because you have a fucking, what was his name? Bert Duquesne?
You're thinking of Bart Duquesne.
Bart Duquesne? You're thinking too much about the erotic novel at this point. I'm really trying to find one of his advertising videos where he tries to convince you to do something, like, you know, pay for something. It's great. That's an art in itself somehow.
Oh, here. I just want to, because you're talking about advertising here. I know we pivoted slightly away from the NI Music Prize, but
Just a little.
do you know the way we were really admiring Kieran Lavery's promo? There should be an award for like best promo videos running up.
Yeah.
But Joel Harkin had one that was close competition. Did you see his?
Oh, he was fighting back, wasn't he? Yeah.
No. It wasn't actually a Kieran Lavery directed promo. It was a Van Morrison directed promo.
God.
So it was basically like Joel Harkin is up for the NI Music Prize. Do you know who's not, sort of thing? Van Morrison. It's like Van Morrison is peak boomer. Joel Harkin is like in touch with his sensitive side or something like that. It's like Van Morrison is worth millions. Joel Harkin is poor and can't pay his rent. And the promo just finishes off with him naked on his sofa with just the album covering himself. And he goes, I wonder who will win the NI Music Prize this year. And it just zooms in on him really quickly and he goes, well, do you know who won't? Van Morrison.
Well, that's true.
Watch it. I feel like you'd love it.
Can any of us just talk about how Van Morrison released an anti-lockdown song?
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone heard that, but it is the most
I didn't.
ridiculous thing you ever heard. Like, it is actually a song about not wanting to be locked down and not wanting to wear masks. And I'm like, sorry, how many things did you live through and not write protest songs about? You're too busy writing songs about living in the old caravan during the Troubles, and then all of a sudden it's like, this I can't stand for. Like, let's write some protest songs. Jesus.
Somebody's told him to stick his mask on down in the local spa or something, and he's got really pissed off.
I write a song about this. Hey, that was spot on. That was really good.
It's like he's in the room with us.
Isn't it? I'm not even going to attempt it again because that was so good that I can't even go back to it.
So just quickly, just to segue from when you were talking about being naked on the couch and stuff, whatever you were saying there, Mike.
We're going segues all over the place here.
I just want to bring it up before. Did anybody see the WAP Jack Black video?
Oh, yeah, I did, actually, yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
No?
No.
Treat yourself later on.
Treat yourself.
Oh.
Treat yourself to an eyeful.
Yep.
Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. Here, Abby, have you listened to this future Lil Uzi Vert album? I haven't heard it yet. Is it any good? Should I listen to it?
I've actually got that written down on my piece of paper.
You tell me your notes. I've been talking all over.
Oh no,
you,
I've literally got Lil Uzi and Future, Pluto, Baby Pluto, and Big Pluto. I think.
Pluto times Baby Pluto or something like that. Pluto X Baby Pluto. I don't know what the title is.
I've listened to it once all the way through. I'll have to go back listen to it again. It's exactly what you expect it to be. It's like the current generation's Watch the Throne, where you've got the two biggest stars of the time in that genre, probably.
Yeah.
Like for the younger ones, not like for us and stuff, but like for the younger ones. And Yeah, it's a decent album. Obviously, you have to be into it because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you would like it. Maybe.
Me?
Yeah, there might be some songs.
I like Future and
It's-
Lucy Vert separate, so I'm hoping I like them together, but I have no idea.
My problem with Future is that I want a solo project from him. He's always seems like he just lands it not lucky, but every time he's
Again,
with
features.
Drake, he's always a feature, always has features. Not to say that's a bad thing, but
No.
I would like to hear him on a solo project and potentially switch up his style where he's not repeating the same thing for a verse and a half and then going into something.
Fair.
But no, it's a good it's a good project. And I've also been going down a 3 Stacks, aka Andre 3000 binge this week for
Yes.
some reason.
Gotta
I
love-
listened to the Outcast, Idlewild.
Oh,
I-
Idlewild. Yeah, oh, what a great
I had So Fresh and So Clean on the other day.
Telling
Look,
you,
man.
just out of nowhere. So I was listening to Idlewild, and then I went down like wouldn't say a rabbit hole, but I just on Spotify went to Andre 2000, just hit the play button and just like let it go through. Man, if you spent, you know how you like that YouTube channel Dissect.
Yeah.
Does that guy do any Andre 3000 songs?
Well, not yet. No, he's because it's such a.
I
I
suppose
know we
it's
started
like
talking about it before. It's like, I mean, what usually somewhere between 15 and 20 episodes, which is 15 to 20 hours for one record because it's a deep dive on one album at a time. He hasn't done Outkast yet, so
Right.
He's done 2 Kendrick albums. He done Lemonade by Beyonce. He done My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye. Childish Gambino now, and I think Tyler the Creator, if memory serves. I think that's all he's done so far. But I mean, that's a lot. That's like hundreds of episodes.
see if when you listen to Andre 3000 lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
if you deep dive into them, it's dark
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, I know, man. I know. He's always been like that. Like that's why I always say he's in like my top rappers, like for sure. He's an amazing lyricist.
See, bouncing off that, you can give him any beat pattern
Oh yeah.
and he'll find a pocket to rap better than anybody on that song or
Yeah.
what anybody probably could. He is probably the most underrated. He doesn't get brought up enough when it comes to like best
one of these-
artists.
Yeah, he's one of these interesting people where it's like he's a rapper's rapper. Like he doesn't get brought up by the general public, but you see whenever hip hop artists get asked who's your favorite like rapper or MC, they're like Andre 3000. Like
100%.
straight up.
He's like those movies with cult followings.
Yeah.
So,
He's
carry
so-
on.
All right.
What
Yeah,
did he say? What did he say he's doing?
I don't know. Something happened.
Drinking up?
but
Beer.
no. So that I was listening to that Idlewild, and if you haven't listened to that, it's a great album. I seen a Rick Rubin interview with him
Yeah.
where he goes like deep into what it was like growing up for himself, how he feels disconnected from the industry. He felt isolated.
Yeah, because you were talking about that last week whenever we were saying like where did he actually go? And he just doesn't feel a part of things anymore, basically. Is that just like a interview on YouTube that you found or what? Or?
I don't think that's there's not a video, it's just audio. But yeah, it's just on YouTube. It's from bear with me 2 seconds. It's actually a podcast I'm subscribed to on Spotify if my phone loads, which it probably won't because now I need to fill time because Stuart's away, so stuff's just gonna go wrong.
Yeah, everything just goes slow. Here, I was gonna say as well, just while you're looking that up there, it wasn't last week. I think it was the week before. We were talking about like there's weirdly like a load of like sequel albums coming out recently, and we didn't even get talking about the Busta album.
Oh yeah, that I like. Maybe it's a bit too long.
Well, but you know what? It kind of reminded me of like the sequel to like a rap album that was big in the noughties. Like they were always too long, so I could think that was kind of part of it for me. If you know what I mean.
The
they're
thing
always...
is that the Busta Rhymes album that came out definitely sounds 2000s.
Yeah, because
but-
like they went back to that whole thing with like it doesn't happen so much anymore, like having skits and stuff in between the songs
Yeah.
and all. Yeah.
Okay, so I found the podcast on the thing. It's called Broken Record.
Right.
Broken Record. And if you look that up on Spotify, and then they've got loads. They've got a Run the Jewels one.
So like how recent was the interview? Is this like only just like a while ago with Andre 3000?
Did it happen this year? I'm trying to scroll through.
Recent enough, anyways, even like in the last year or two. Yeah.
But he just talks about how he just felt disconnected, how he didn't really feel, which is crazy coming from him because he's so talented.
Yeah.
And like I said before, he just fits. You can just throw him some crazy beat and he will find that pocket. But I'm trying to find it here. But anyway, yeah, it's called Broken Record and he's with Rick Rubin and it's like an hour and... Oh, there it is there. It was last year, 17th of December. And it's about an hour and something long. And yeah, it's really good. But yeah, no, I just went into some random... I don't know why I started listening to Outkast, just came and then just listening to him rap and even like the Love Below stuff. When
freaking love that Speaker Box album.
Yeah. The Roses song, like was it that someone done an acoustic version to? And when you slow that song down, it becomes the most depressing song that you can ever listen to ever. But yeah, no, that was my rant on Andre 3000 because that's all I've been listening to this week. And I've listened to another talking about Leo Miyagi before. I did because that Jeff Hardy song came out. I did listen to the EP that song came from, which was Act 2, Big Walk. Yeah. And if you haven't listened to that EP or any of his stuff, to me, that guy is the best hip hop act locally.
Locally, bad word. Locally,
yeah.
Like to me, he is. I also watched his Belfast sessions.
Yeah, in Ulster Sports Club, incredible. Like full band and all behind him and stuff too. Yeah,
see that live performance, just
very very tight live, and I just love his whole. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt there. I was just gonna say I love his whole chill vibe, like because it has got that kind of like feel to it.
Yeah, it's not to put him but it's got that. It's almost got like a God. It's tough comparing, but it's got that Kendrick live. He acts like he's just chill, and then when he's doing like his emotional stuff,
very yeah. I get what you're saying, like relaxed presence on stage, but then like if there's a moment or whatever, yeah.
Sorry, which plays a huge part. And
even like lyrically as well, his stuff is quite. I think there was one. I'm gonna be crap with like album names and stuff now, but like one of the first albums or EPs that he put out that had Freeform Dreadlock Champion on it. There was one that like referenced, I think maybe poets and stuff, but I would say like a lot of his lyrics is like quite poetic in a way, if you know what I mean. And I think like the whole chill vibe that he puts out on a lot of his stuff as well kind of goes some way to contributing to that too.
This is delivery, like his delivery on stuff, the way that the songs are structured. I think that was from Bluebird album.
Yeah,
I think that's what that was from.
Yes, because I can picture the cover in my head.
Yeah, and it was actually you that introduced me to him. I can't remember what his first song was though.
I remember Bluebird was the first one that I feel you really got. Like, I remember you saying about listening to it all the time and stuff. Um, well, that record in general.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, it was so long ago that we
I'm
were
trying to
like
look it up.
plugging.
2018.
Yeah, probably.
2018. That is crazy. But yeah, the performance of that show was great with like the live band and stuff. Which is another bummer of all this stuff going on that we can't go see live shows, and you
I know.
have to watch everything on. It's just it actually hit when you see stuff like that online, like the
Yeah, you remember
stuff,
just
you're
what
like,
you're missing. Yeah.
man.
Which, for anybody that didn't tune in last week as well, that was the Leo Miyagi session was for Sound of Belfast, which was all like leading up to the NI Music Prize. And there's a couple of different live sessions at some of the live venues that we all unfortunately can't get to at the minute with this stupid lockdown shit. But I can't even remember them all. I was rhyming them off on last week's show, but New Pagan's definitely done one, and there was 3 or 4 that were like highlights for me that I really really liked. But check out last week's show for the recommendations, or else just go straight to I think were they on Oh Yeah's YouTube page as well, or were they somewhere else? Andy, can you remember where you seen it? Ugh, I can't remember.
Oh, what do you want about? You want about the session thing?
Yeah, for Leo Miyagi.
No, they showed Jordan from the year previous. They showed Jordan at a Tanjay's live set, and no, the Leo Miyagi one I seen on his Instagram page.
Right, okay. But I think they are on YouTube. I just can't remember if they're. I'll try and find out if you guys want to carry on ahead.
Yeah, well, I thought, I know we'll be wrapping up here shortly anyway, but just off the back of us talking about Dick Valentine, I thought I would find a video. I haven't watched this, so I don't even know if it'll be one of the best ones, but here's one of his videos of him trying to promote one of his erotic novels. Let's see. Have a listen while Mike's searching.
Here, well, this is a very celebratory vintage of a 1984 Chateau Le Chrétien. And why am I celebrating tonight? Well, first, if you're an amateur sommelier, don't worry, I am going to decant this celebratory bottle before imbibing. I know that you must decant a bottle like this to unlock the tannins and to activate the molecular properties of this celebratory vintage. Why am I celebrating? Because tomorrow is the end of the Bart Duquesne pornographic thriller audiobook series for good. Tomorrow, my final book, the 6th installment, The Velvet Waterfall, comes out. And I know, I can feel it in my bones. This is the year that I'm going to make $35,000 in one day by selling to everyone here. That's to some of the people on Instagram. So
Random number.
$60,000 in one day by selling it to everybody. Why do I think I can sell it to everybody this year? Well, the answer is obvious. Everybody's staying home. Everybody need a bright light right now in their life, and they need an escape. My books provide the ultimate escape. Filthy mysteries, thrills around every corner. Character studies, character flaws, characters come together, they break the laws. About the sex act.
What?
What a line.
Yeah, absolutely genius. I just knew I had to get one of those in there before I go, just so y'all can appreciate Dick Valentine from Electric Six and go and listen to them buy his pornographic novels.
Jesus.
Oh, Doug. Yeah, that's all. I think it's all we got really this week.
Yeah,
There's something you were looking up there, yeah.
Yeah, those live sessions are all on YouTube. So the Leo Miyagi one's on there. They're all on the Oh Yeah Center page as well on YouTube. Leo Miyagi. I think the other ones that I was kind of shouting out from Sound of Belfast. Brand New Friend have one up. They were playing in the Oh Yeah Music Center. Jealous of the Birds were playing in the Limelight. New Pagans in Voodoo. Yeah, so like those were some pretty cool ones. And then also, obviously, we were talking tonight about the NI Music Prize. It's all on YouTube. Go watch it.
Awesome. Andy, anything from you?
No, know.
Cool. If follow me on any socials.
Oh, you're talking about all that stuff. All right.
Well,
okay,
no, well,
you go.
I was just gotta say I've got a new EP coming called Good Boy, sequel to Sad Boy. Yeah, keep an eye out for it. I mean, I really plan for it to be a lot later.
You could do a trilogy. You've got Sad Boy, Good Boy. You could do like a spaghetti western of like tracks. You know, Good, Bad, and the Ugly. You could do something like that.
I think he's actually frozen.
Ah,
That idea just completely blew his mind. Trilogy? What?
What is going
damn.
on?
That could be the whole podcast lost.
Here we go,
Shit.
fellas. I can hear fire engines
Oh
up the
no.
road.
Steve's PC's on fire. The whole cabin's on fire.
I'm gonna message him.
Oh no. That was a good podcast too. Maybe Into the Ether.
Hold.
Somebody check in. Is he okay?
Let me see. Hello.
And this is about the time that my power cut in my house. So we didn't really get to say goodbye. And apologies for my audio quality the whole way through this episode, but just one of those freak things, I guess. So thanks for tuning in again to Six Up Bro. We'll be back again next week. Yeah, go and check out all the things that we were talking about. Go check out Revue and The Wolf, especially. Big thanks to Marty and Emma for being part of this show. And yeah, we will be in touch, y'all. Have a great weekend. Love you. Peace and love, as Ringo Starr says. Peace and love.
The Six